It's January 2017, and the NAMM show's just been, and Ibanez have unveiled their line of 2017 guitars. So we're going to have a quick look at what they are offering, have a look at what they've released, what the prices are, and I will give you my reaction. So let's go. Here we are. Have a cursory glance. We've got the signature models at the top, RGs, RGAs, S-series, and then down into the land that I frankly don't care about very much. Hollow bodies, basses, acoustics. I don't care about acoustics. Oh, that's nice. I like that one with the blue burst, does it? No. We can't have that one, guys. That one's not allowed. But you know, if I could blow that one up, that'd be... Can I blow this one up? That's nice. Will it work now? Ah, you can view the blue one, just not through the link you would expect to work. But I like that. That's nice. But anyway, if you've watched my channel before, you'll be here for electric guitars, which is why I'm here as well. So I think a good place to start off would be the lower end, if you like, the budget stuff. So we won't look at the premiums and the prestiges straight away. Let's have a look at one of these. Let's have a look at an RGA. I quite like the look of this blue one. Got quite a nice burst finish here, flat burst. So this would be a good option if you're starting out. You know what kind of style you like to play. You like rock and metal. You want something that's playable with a thin neck. You're not going to go far wrong with this. What will this have? Wizard 3, probably. Yeah, Wizard 3 neck. Maple top mark on the body, rosewood fretboard, jumbo frets, pretty standard. I like a jumbo fret. Fixed bridge. I'm a Floyd man myself, but you can't go wrong with a fixed bridge. It's pretty simple setup. Ibanez own pickups. I haven't used Pontons myself, but there'll be no doubt plenty of comparisons on YouTube should you want to have a look. And let's have a look at what this bad boy would cost. So let's open a new tab. So I reckon 300 quid. Yeah, 320 quid for that. So sound. I'm happy with that. First guitar in the 2017 lineup. That's perfectly fine. If I was starting out, that's a pretty sound guitar to get. This will probably be similar if we pop up to the RGs. This kind of nice sunset kind of a thing going on. This is probably going to be a similar price, maybe a bit more. It's $400, so yeah, similar-ish price. Decent specs. I mean, I'd probably be more inclined to go for a fixed bridge at this level, because without playing one, obviously I can't say, but I wouldn't be convinced by a bridge that was just called double locking tremolo bridge. I mean, it's not a very convincing thing for me for the bridge not to be a branded Floyd Rose or an Ibanez branded bridge. The Edge Zero, the Low Pro, the Edge Pro, whether it's Edge Zero 2, 3. I'm happy with all those than something that's just called double locking tremolo. I don't know. I won't buy a guitar that was just called guitar, but that's just me. But why are we still here? It's got to be for the premiums and the prestiges, hasn't it? So let's have a look at the premiums first, because they're placed between the base Ibanez level and the prestige level. They're not quite as budget as Iron Label, which is the kind of metal line of Ibanez guitars that feature a lot more fixed bridges and more strings and stuff. But the idea of the premium models was to offer high quality guitars with high quality components and hardware, but at a more accessible price point than the prestiges. And this was made possible by manufacturing the premium guitars in Indonesia, I believe it is, whereas the prestige models are handcrafted in Japan. And we all know that Japan has a very long-standing and respected history of luthiery. So there aren't any S-series premiums, which saddens me slightly because I really like S-series guitars. I have an S-series J custom on the wall behind me. And it's a really amazing guitar. but never mind. We've got some RGs here, which I've seen drip down through the social media after NAMM. Let's have a gander. I really like the finishes. I like the transparent, translucent thing going on here. Trans blue and a trans black on what looks like a poplar burl top, I think. So let's have a look at the specs, shall we? So we've got an 11-piece neck, which I'm no luthier, but I assume stepping up from 5 pieces to 11 pieces. I mean, you see 1-piece necks, 3-piece, 5-piece, and now 11-piece. I believe it's just for stability, that the neck doesn't move under changes in temperature and things like that. A lot of the 5-piece necks have got the titanium rods through them in the Ibanez line, but presumably this one doesn't. It doesn't look like it does. It doesn't say that it does. So yeah, the 11 pieces I imagine is for stability. So we've got Wenge, Babinga, Maple and Purple Heart. Now that's a first, I think, for Ibanez, Purple Heart. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a pretty exotic wood. That's pretty cool. I don't know how noticeable it'll be since it's in a neck with lots of other woods and it's 11 pieces. I can't imagine it makes up much of the neck, but it's pretty cool all the same. It's there. It is a poplar pearl top, that's cool, and American basswood body. Joe Satriani approves of the basswood. He says it's a very musical wood, so that's cool. I like Wenge as a neck wood and as a fretboard wood. Sound, mother of pearl inlays, obviously. Offset, I like the fact that they're offset. I like a bit of interest on my inlays. And jumbo stainless steel frets. Now that is a first for Ibanez. As far as I know, it's something that's been asked for by Ibanez fans for quite a while now. As more companies start using stainless steel frets, and as more famous artists start getting their signatures with stainless steel frets put on them. I'm thinking of guys like Guthrie Govan, Chris Broderick, people like that. Although there are still a few famous players, in fact quite a lot, that haven't made that change. Steve Vai and Joe Satriani are still on the good old nickel silver. But for anybody that's not aware of the difference between stainless steel and nickel silver frets, which is probably what you've got on your guitar if you're not aware of the difference already, is that stainless steel frets are harder, which means that they wear less, and some people say that they don't wear at all as a result, for all practical purposes. And the other differences are that the stainless steel frets sound brighter and that they are more smooth to bend on because of the very high level of polishing that goes into these frets. But there is another side to that. There's another side of the coin. With stainless steel being harder, people often say that it wears down the strings faster, which can obviously become an expense because you have to buy more strings. But the retort to that is, well, I'd rather change my strings more often than have to change my frets, which I can understand. You might not want the frets hammering out on a real expensive guitar with nice inlays and all that kind of thing, and just the expense of a refret. But I've heard techies and guitar shop owners say that they don't think that they really should ever have to change nickel silver frets either, or have ever changed them on their own guitars, particularly if you cycle through a few guitars like I do, and if you change your strings regularly, and that people just get hell-bent on wanting a refret when really they don't need one. They just need a re-level so that the frets are all level again. So, I mean, it's your call. I haven't done any testing on this kind of thing, but there are obviously practical benefits to stainless steel, and it's good that Ibanez have now got the option there for people if they want it. So, moving on to the bridge, we've got the Edge 02 Tremolo. If you've watched my previous videos, you probably know that I don't really like Edge Zero bridges. I much prefer the original Edge and the Low Pro. I just prefer how they feel, how they react when they're played, and therefore how they sound. They flutter better. I just prefer how they feel. But the Edge Zero does have a lot of well-designed practical benefits in terms of intonation, tuning, stability, all that kind of thing. So they're a good bridge. It's a high-end bridge, no doubt about it. Great set of pickups. Great combination. You find that combination quite a lot on Prestige and J Custom models actually. There'll be loads of videos out there on YouTube of examples of what these pickups sound like, but they're reasonably hot, quite well balanced, just a good all-round set of pickups. And I mean, that's about it, isn't it, really? Got some nice pictures down here, that's cool. Goto stuff, we like it. Luminescent side dotting layers, that's cool. I haven't seen that on any Ibanez models yet. I mean, it's probably come up on some of the Iron Label stuff, I imagine, but I don't have any with that on, so that's cool. That's the back of the neck, that looks kind of nice, snazzy. The premium frettage treatment is kind of interesting to talk about because it's quite similar to the J Custom frettage treatment, although to a lesser quality, obviously, what you would hope, since you're paying so much for a J Custom. But you know, I do know people who've bought premiums in J Customs, and the fret finishing quality is superior on the J Customs, from what I've heard. Again, what you would expect. But the difference basically between having the hand-rolled fret edges, the fret ends up like a sausage, and the ends of the frets are rounded, as opposed to chopped off and then polished and ground down to, you know, a comfortable level. If you play, you know, standard RG or a gem, and then you play a J Custom or premium frettage treatment guitar, rolled fret edges feel smoother. You can't really feel them in comparison, and it's a nice to have. It just makes the neck feel smoother overall, a smoother experience when you fret like it. But there is a minor downside, and it's that if you're doing some legato on your high E string, or you're tapping, and especially if you're tapping from a different string and you're string skipping, you know, using these two fingers and coming back onto the high E, if the fret is rolled a lot, which it's rolled more in this case with the hand rolled fret edges, the string's more likely to fall off the fretboard. It's much easier to fall off the fretboard on my J Customs than it is on my gems, so it's not necessarily what you want. Some people don't like the hand rolled fret edges. I mean, it's not really a problem for me. I just make sure I don't fall off the fretboard. I just don't push the string that way. I just make sure it's a definite downward movement rather than a push and pull kind of job. So it's just something to bear in mind anyway, if it's something that you've not considered. So that's an overview of this guitar. Let's say I want to buy it. I like this guitar. Let's find out how much it costs. So let's paste that into here. Okay. Alright, so moving on, let's have a look at the 2017 RG Prestige. Next up to the premium. Let's pick one, let's have a look. That's kind of interesting. Maybe we should get this out of the way first. That doesn't look like a Prestige, it looks like a J Custom. Alright, RG 30, 30th anniversary, JC, J Custom, limited. But it says Prestige underneath. I mean, what's going on? J Custom it says then. J Custom it says on the headstock. I was going to say, it looks like a J Custom. I mean, it looks quite similar to my natural J Custom, to be honest with you. It's quilted top instead of the spalted top, but yeah, it definitely says Prestige. Well, that must just be a labelling error. I'll have to get the website together, lads. Come on, come on. Sort your thing out. Ibanez. Alright. But that's nice. 5-piece, the titanium rose that I mentioned earlier. Nice quilted maple top with, I mean, so many A's. I mean, that must mean it's a damn good bit of wood right there. I mean, you can tell it's nice. I mean, let's have a look at some of these close-up pictures. Ooh, spicy. I mean, I don't want to spend too long on this one because it's just going to be redonkulously expensive, I can tell already. It's got everything I like on it. It's got the low pro edge bridge, the Velvet Touch finish. Stainless steel frets again. That's a first time ever for a J Custom as far as I know. What the fuck? Has it got a square heel joint on it? Believe me, I know how much J Customs are after having bought a couple myself, but especially because this is going to be accessible to, I imagine, the Western market, unlike a lot of them. Let's see if I can buy it from somewhere. Tommen. Yeah, I mean, it's 4,000 euros, £3,400. Let's forget about that one, guys. Never mind. It's, I mean, for that money, you could for over £3,000, you could get a hand-built custom guitar from this guy Dylan Humphreys in Bristol at Ibanez Guitars, and you could get him to hand paint a depiction of the crucifixion of Jesus if you wanted on the guitar. I mean, you know, you can look at his website yourself, but I just think that's I mean, I've spent a lot of money on J Customs, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic guitars, but $3,500, you might as well just import one from Japan, frankly, and get one that you really want. So let's have a look at some normal Prestiges. We've already looked at blue and black ones. Let's have a look at this red and orange one. It's pretty nice. Maple fretboard, people like that kind of stuff. Alright, so we've got a straight up Prestige RG, original edge bridge. I like it, it's my favourite bridge, along with the Low Pro, obviously. All specs are here, silky oak top, mahogany body, bound bird's eye maple fretboard, black dot inlays, same pickup choices as the premium. Nice guitar, nice guitar. Super Wizard neck, so slightly thinner neck than the one we looked at before, I believe. So let's have a look at how much this one costs next to our £1,100 premium. Let's try this ZZ Sounds. $1,500. Seems like it's going to be a similar price. $1,500 in pounds. That's what I want. Yeah, I mean, it's only £100 more for a Prestige. I mean, I don't know what's going on here. Either ZZ Sounds have lost the plot and they're selling it for too little, or this premium is somewhat overpriced. Let's try a different website. Let's try Sweetwater. Similar there? Okay. So we've had a revelation here today, guys and girls, that the Prestige RG is only £100 more than the premium RG, which just baffled me. But I think we should check to see if this is a trend or if it's just these two particular models. Even if it is those two models, that's weird, and I don't think it's a good thing, but we'll come on to that. Let's try this one, the new RG655. Yeah, 1200, similar. And an S series. They're usually a little bit more expensive. I do like the S series guitars, to be honest. I don't think any other brand has anything similar. Obviously loads of companies have got super strats, but just look at how thin and elegant that body is, and how it works when you actually play in it, and it still sounds so full and all the rest of it, you know. An impressive thing. I like it. Bloody hell. Now what I want to do is throw another guitar into the mix that I did a review for on YouTube, and the title of the video was Best Guitar Under £1,000, so you can probably tell where I'm going with this. So here we have a very nice, high quality, made in Japan Prestige guitar for £90. Here we have really the staple of the 2017 premium line, and it's more expensive. And this is really my issue with the lineup of 2017 Ibanez guitars. I had noticed it in 2016 when some of the premium models were priced at about £900, which I say is the same as this Prestige on the screen. And I thought, well, there's not that much difference in terms of hardware spec for one. Secondly, the trade price for the hardware is really not that high, so it's not going to make that much of a difference in terms of the retail markup and the retail price. And so Ibanez is either telling its consumer base that the quality of made in Japan products is no higher than made in Indonesia products, or it's telling its market that the markup on these guitars is so high that they make an enormous profit on them either way, even if they price them the same, but which I'm sure they do, but even if they want to broadcast that fact, it still gives people the wrong impression of, you know, why get a Prestige anymore? Is a Prestige better than a premium? Well, the price points say not in a lot of cases. Apart from if you go for certain Prestiges which are approaching signature level prices. I mean, an S series guitar for over £1,800 when you could get, you know, I don't know, Ibanez JS 2400. This product is discontinued. Okay, that wasn't a good example. Let's go for a Vi one. So, you know, you could buy, well, that's not actually the cheapest shop on here. You could, you know, for an extra £200, you get one of the most iconic and expensive signature guitars on the market. So it seems to me overall, Ibanez pricing on their higher end guitars has gone up, which is obviously not great. I think the quality of them has gone up, in fairness. The choices, the specs have gone up. But my issue is with the difference between the premium and prestige pricing, and the fact that some prestiges are now getting up to the signature point. Let's just search for one of the prestige to really just try and get an idea of, you know, are they 1800 or are they 1200? I mean, what are we getting? What are we getting for £2,000? Let's have a look. Stainless steel frets. I mean, you know, let's be charitable and add £200 or £300 onto the RG655 to make up for that. The Look Pro is no better than the original Edge. Bare knuckles, not much more expensive than DiMarzio's. They're a little bit more expensive. We could add another £100 on for those, I guess. But even then, I mean, even if we were getting up to a £1,400-1,500 mark, where does the other £500 come from? You know, why is this £2,000? Don't understand. So let's just have a look at some of the signature models to see if those prices have rocketed in the same way as some of the guitars that we just had a look at, because it'll be interesting to see if the standard S-Series Prestige that we just looked at £1,800, approaching the usual price-ish for a signature model, getting up to the £2,000 mark. If that still is paralleled in 2017 with the signature models, because it'll be interesting if the signature models have gone up in price enough to maintain their price point and markup versus a standard prestige. So let's have a look at these Vi ones. LG. Alright, £3,100. Maybe it's not a good example, you know, it's the 30th anniversary version and they always do crazy ass shit when they do special stuff, don't they? So let's take a step back from Steve Vai a minute and we'll try Kiko, you know. Megadeth, save us please. The bank account balance will suffer in 2017. Why can't I see one? They're all like foreign websites. Not that I have a problem with that, but I mean, I don't even know what that currency is. It looks Polish. I thought they did euros, no? Maybe they're not in the Eurozone. I don't know. Let's go shopping. No. Okay, well we can't find Kiko's guitar. It's gone somewhere. Let's try a different one. Let's try this one. Let's try Fred's guitar. The Ibanez FTM 33. We can apparently buy it for $2,000. Okay, that's a bit more. It's a bit more like it. Actually, cheaper than the Prestige S-Series that we had a look at a moment ago, which is a bit weird, but I don't know. Seems like Ibanez's prices are all over the place at the moment across the different ranges. So, you know, we've had a look. We've seen good standard, reasonably priced, lower end electric guitars there. We've seen that the premiums are now at least £1,000 price point, which seems to me to defeat the object of what the premium brand was. If Ibanez are going to say we're going to make them in Indonesia for less, they're not quite as good as the Japanese ones, but we're going to charge you less, and everybody accepts it, and then a later year goes, but the premiums are just as good as the Prestiges, and therefore we're going to charge you over £1,000. Why should I believe that the quality is not only as good as they said it was previously when the prices were lower. You know, it seems to me that they've just increased the prices for what are really quite minor improvements. I mean, a nice finish, sure, but that's not that expensive for them to do in the factory. And the hardware hasn't improved over the previous premiums, apart from stainless steel frets. And again, I mean, it's more expensive to install, but for some of the price differences, it would be cheaper to just get an old Prestige, an old Premium, or yeah, maybe even an old Prestige, but certainly an old Premium, and just get a stainless steel refret if you really wanted one. It doesn't really make that much sense. And we've seen some of the Prestiges are the same price as the Premiums, which makes you think, well, what am I paying for if it's made in Japan? Is it some kind of a bargain made in Japan, or is it an overpriced Indonesian, or are they all really just the same standard? It doesn't matter where the guitars are made. And some of the Prestiges are nearly £2,000, and some of the Signatures are nearly £3,000. Well, over £3,000, but you know, their 30th anniversary. So you know, I have mixed feelings about the 2017 lineup, as you can probably tell. I'm a massive Ibanez fan. I think they make great guitars, but I just don't understand who Ibanez are aiming these price points at. I think there needs to be some clarity about the difference between premiums and prestiges, and I think there needs to be something that fills the gap of, you know, a £700-800 premium that used to exist. You know, we used to be able to pick up a nice premium for that amount of money, or even a premium version of a signature model. You know, the premium Vi stuff, the premium Satriani stuff was alright, maybe not £700, but a lot cheaper than the signature stuff. So there was a clear band for what premium was, and you know, that to me has been lost really. Now that they've got fancier and fancier, and the price points have crept up to the point where we're at £1,100, which is more than a Prestige was only a year or so ago. So yeah, mixed feelings, but no doubt lots of nice looking guitars, lots of high spec guitars. They'll feel and sound great, but my advice would be to definitely consider the 2015, 16 lines, and certainly the Ibanez RG655. Still, best bang for the buck Prestige out there. 2017 has not really offered much in terms of bang for the buck, in my opinion, apart from, you know, some of the real budget stuff, which again, beginners and intermediate players, or people on a bit more of a budget for guitars, a lot of these guitars are really great guitars at good prices, so there's nothing wrong with those. So, in summary, I'm really pleased with the efforts Ibanez have made in expanding their product line and the hardware and finishes they put on their guitars. The addition of more models with bare knuckle pickups are welcome, for not everyone likes Damasio, and stainless steel frets are a welcome option too. Ibanez have a great track record of improving the quality of their guitars as the years go by. That's what I've experienced when playing guitars built from one decade and another at least, and I've no reason to suspect that this will be any different going forwards. I haven't played any of the guitars we've talked about today, so please take this video as what it is, an overview of the line and not a review of the individual products. My only concern with the 2017 line is the pricing, and it's not even so much that individual guitars are overpriced, although I think one or two of them are. It's more that the difference in prices between the premium and prestige product tiers is becoming confusing and blurred to me. A word on the 30th anniversary gem models. Yes, it's a collector's reissue item and it's priced accordingly. Some might say, well, you'll pay 10 grand for a Gibson reissue, so this reissued gem is really reasonably priced. And while that might be true, I wouldn't pay 10 grand for a Gibson reissue either, and I won't pay 8 grand for a Universe reissue. But if you're willing to pay a lot of money for a collector's item, you really want the guitar, and you're willing to pay the price tag, I support you in your decision. You're supporting a manufacturer that I'm a really big fan of, and that's only a good thing. But that's a special case area for guitars as far as I'm concerned, and I tend to view guitars as instruments with a practical purpose, to play and to use, particularly for reviewing purposes, and therefore I'm really focusing on the price points of the premium and prestige models. All that said, I'm sure any buyer would be extremely happy with anything they picked up from the 2017 Ibanez range, but my advice to anyone who is concerned about how much money they're spending would be to look at the previous year's models too, particularly if you aren't interested in stainless steel frets. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll do my best to reply.